I'm going to give you guys a play-by-play pretty much all day today. I'm going to be running all the baits, and you guys will get to see a lot of the baits hit. We'll view some trail cameras and just kind of see what kind of bear we got coming in. This is my first run to check all the baits this year, so I'm pretty excited to see what we got. So we're going to head into bait number one. I'm loaded down with my bait, hollowed out log, and some fryer grease. And put all that stuff out. It's nice to have this frame here. It's a backpack frame. It's a lifesaver. It's made by Alps, and because we hunt so far back in, even for bear, we have to carry all this stuff back there. So having something like this, we latch all that stuff right on. We just go on back in. It's pretty wet out here. Got some rain. So see you guys when we get to the bait. Bait number one. All right. Bait number one was demolished. And look at that. I think that answers the age-old question. Bears do in fact poop in the woods. Well, we'll get the hollowed out log here set up, and looks like the bear brushed the trail camera, so we'll check that. Got the trail camera set up right there. Looks like it was tapped. A lot of times bears will come into a bait site and they'll swipe the camera. You know, when you lay bait down, you know, usually you're touching the bait and you touch the camera. Bear comes in, eats the bait, and then it does like a little circle, sniffs everything around the area. And if it smells, you know, bait on that camera, it's gonna come over and sniff the camera. So we'll get this set back up. Alright, now I'm just going to take this, got a big tub of fryer grease right here, and throw it all over the bait, the whole entire bait site. So one of the big reasons I put it all over the logs, obviously, is when that bear is moving those logs and he's getting around it and he's sneaking in there, and he's picking up all the corn in there, or all the bait, it'll get all over his fur. And they track that through the woods. Another bear crosses their track, they'll follow it right back to this bait site. And then them bears will know that this is somewhere where they can feed. So let's check that trail camera. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah. Not a very big bear. Not a very big one at all. Judging it, just looking at the stumps and everything right here, I can definitely tell this is a fairly young bear. Might not even be 100 pounds. It looks like he's eating pretty good though. Oh, there's a deer. There's Tony. Tony reset the bait and the camera. Oh, look at that. We got a sow with 2 cubs. How cool is that? Oh, never mind. 3 cubs. Wow. There you go. Oh, that's a good sized bear. Yes, that is. Look at that. Yeah, that there's a, it's a good sized bear. It is a sow though. Well, that is pretty cool. Just taking a look at these and kind of seeing the bear activity. It's pretty cool. That is a pretty big sow though. Obviously we try not to shoot sows. You know, well, one, it's illegal to shoot a sow with cubs. But even if we can help it, we'll try not shooting them even when they don't have cubs. But it's hard to judge them sometimes. That's pretty cool. Well, we're gonna take and get out of here. The bait's all set up. We're gonna get out of here and on to the next bait. All right, I'm ready to set this other bait here. Throw in my backpack and head back on in. This one's actually not too far back in. When I say that, I mean like a quarter mile. So I'm walking down the trail here, and I actually almost walked right on top of it, and I can see another one right up there. It's got some rain in it, so it's a couple days old. But it's a bear track. We got a bear track right here. Check this bad boy out. There it is. There's a bear track. You can see it's got its pad right here, and it's got its front paws. So it's got some rain in it, but it's good to see. You can see it walking along right here. And there's another print right there. It's pretty good to see that right here. It's nice to know got bears in the area, but I mean there's plenty of bear in the area, but it's good to see them out and about. All right, bait number 2 was hit. And once again, got a big pile of poop right there. Look at that. Try not to obsess over that, but yeah, I got this cleaned out pretty good right here. That's cool. This spot was actually, this is the first year that we've had this spot. You know, over the years of bear hunting up here, whether, you know, we get our tags every year or every other year, we typically hunt the same spots. Now this year, we decided to come over here and check this out. And the reason being is this spot is good. It's swampy. We got a lake right over here, and there's a lot of blueberries. And anytime you get into a spot that has a lot of blueberries, you're obviously going to have bear, and there's just going to be that natural food there for them. So you know the bear are going to be there. I mean, we already saw the bear track coming into here, so, and obviously this is a great sign that we got a bear frequent in this spot. So hopefully this bait stays active. We'll see what we got on the trail camera, and this would be a good spot. All right, this is the bear that we got coming into this spot. Not a huge bear, maybe 120 pounds. This, however, does look to be a good sized bear. I was going backwards through the pictures, and you can actually see that this is probably the one that initially hit the bait. Alright, this bait is all set up and ready to go again. We'll check it in a few days. It's nice to have those hollowed out logs out here. That way it just keeps the bait out of the weather. If it rains, we don't have to worry about it. Not that I think the bears really care, but just a little insurance policy. Now, I told you that when we went in to go find this spot a couple weeks ago and set it up to get ready to start baiting it, we knew that this was going to be a good spot because of how thick it was. The lake that was right there. You know, bears need water, they need food just like any other animal, and they need cover. But here are just some of the blueberries inside here. I mean, you can see them. I mean, this whole forest is just covered with them. And anytime you find that, you know you're going to have bear in the area. And there's natural food, so That's number 2 done. Head back to the truck and go to the next one. Well, bait number 3 was hit. This is actually where I shot my bear a few years ago, and I've hunted the last couple years here. It's a good spot. It's nice and open. I can see bears coming from a ways, so we'll get this thing baited back up. I got a pretty big stump to put in here. We'll see what we got on the trail camera. Alright, this is the last bait site that I have that I gotta set up, but I ran through a couple things today, and one thing I haven't touched on is what I'm actually using for bait. And what I'm using is a combination of corn, molasses, and I have some fryer grease that I'm using for scent. So just to give you a look at the corn here, I mix it up in a big container here, a garbage container. I mix that all up right there. And I actually do it a day or two in advance, so that way I can, let the corn ferment, let it soak in there. So helps with scent and all that. So nothing special. There's no rhyme or reason as to why I, use it, other than the fact that, I can get it and it's readily available. So we bait probably every 2 or 3 days, and then obviously when we come up here to hunt, we're baiting every day. So, but it's not the cheapest route to go. You can find cheaper alternatives, but it works for us. It has been working for us. Another thing we use too is bread. You go to a bakery and they'll have a bunch of bread left over, so we use that as well. But I just want to touch on that and show you guys kind of what we use. So kind of giving you guys a whole round of how we bear hunt, how we approach it, how we bait, everything like that. So this is the last spot that I have to bait, and there's another spot that I'm going to go to. I'm actually going to set up a bait site, so that way we have 5 or 6 bait sites going into the season. There's going to be 4 of us up here hunting, so we definitely want 1 or 2 other stands on the side. But I'm going to get all packed up and we're going to head back in. Alright, bait number 4 has been hit. This spot is actually where Matt shot his bear a couple years ago, 187 pounder. It's always been a good spot. There's a huge swamp over there, and all them bears seem to just hide out in there. So yeah, we'll get this one set back up, check the trail camera. Well, something was wrong with the SD card. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it wasn't formatted or whatever, but it didn't take any pictures. That or was full, but I'm taking it home. Maybe it'll read it up on my computer, but obviously we know there's bear in here. That's definitely not an issue. This spot has always been great. Like I said, Matt got his bear here a few years ago, and it's just always been a spot that bears come to. We always know that it's almost like a for sure thing every time we come to check it. So that's all the baits, 4 of them, 4 for 4. I'm gonna go set up another one here in a little bit, so let's get out of here. All right, I just got this bait site all set up right here. Ended up being a pretty cool spot. Popple tree fell down right there, so it's pretty much already had a backing to it. And yeah, this should be a pretty cool spot. Got the hollowed out log in there, buried up, the lid on it. So, and then the tree stand will be about 20 yards away, right up in that pine tree right there. So it'll be a pretty good little shot. This is cool too. I've actually wanted to put a spot here for about 1.5 years, 2 years now. Back here there's a big blueberry marsh way back there, and then right out here there's another pretty good sized marsh, really thick, and there's no roads within probably about a mile that way or a mile that way. So I definitely know that wind, we get our winds out of the southwest or west, which is over that way, blowing that way. So get our all this stuff blowing in there. That'll be pretty good. So this is going to be a pretty cool little spot. Like I said, I mean, we usually want a couple backup spots going into the season. It's a good idea. You never know what's going to change in the days leading up to or the first couple days of the season. There's a lot of people in the woods, bait hunters, hound hunters, so a lot can change, and you always want a couple backup spots. So this is the last spot. I'm tired, exhausted. I'm ready to go home, so let's get out of the woods.